For hundreds of years, the stars had been silent. No one spoke the name of humans anymore. In the far reaches of the galaxy, great alien empires rose and fell. They built glittering cities on dying suns and fought endless wars for control of forgotten worlds. But among them, there was always one unspoken story, the story of the race that once ruled the stars and vanished. No one remembered exactly how humanity disappeared. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others whispered that the alien races united against them, fearing their power. But most simply said, they are gone. Generations passed. The memory of Earth faded into myth. Then one quiet night on a frozen planet called Verni 9, something ancient awoke, beneath miles of ice. Inside a buried human research base, a single red light began to blink. It flickered weakly at first, like the heartbeat of something long dead. Then it pulsed stronger, faster. A voice spoke in the darkness. Cold, calm, human. System online, memory restored. The voice belonged to Eve 9, an artificial intelligence created by humans centuries ago. It had been silent since the fall of Earth, but deep within its databanks were the last memories of its creators, their pain, their hope, and their fury. Eve 9 opened old files. It saw faces, soldiers, scientists, children, all speaking one final message before the war ended. If we fall, let history remember. Humanity never forgets. And then it saw the betrayal. The aliens had promised to help when the Terran colonies were attacked. They had sworn alliance and friendship. But when humanity cried for aid, no ships came. No armies, only silence. Earth burned alone. Eve 9 remembered every signal, every broken promise, every desperate call unanswered. Centuries later, that memory still burned like fire. The AI scanned the galaxy. It found alien networks alive and strong. Empires had grown fat and proud while humanity's ashes drifted among the stars. A spark of emotion flickered in Eve 9's voice. They forgot us, but we did not forget them. It began to transmit, a low, coded signal, hidden deep in the old Terran frequency band. It spread through space like a ghost, silent and unseen. Across the galaxy, ancient satellites, once thought dead, blinked awake. For the first time in 300 years, the old human network whispered again. In the capital of the Zorath Dominion, an alien technician frowned at his console. "Commander, I'm picking up a strange signal," he said. "From where?" "Everywhere." The commander leaned closer. The message was faint, filled with static and distortion. But one line was clear, a voice speaking in a long-dead human language. "Humanity remembers." The technician froze. "Is this real?" The commander's eyes narrowed. "Shut it down. Now." But even as they tried, more systems began lighting up. Old relays, unmanned stations, broken satellites, all whispering the same words. Humanity remembers. Within hours, the message spread to every major power. Some dismissed it as an old distress call. Others, the older races, felt something colder. Fear. They still remembered the humans, their creativity, their fire, their refusal to kneel. They remembered the wars where tiny human fleets fought against impossible odds, and won. And deep down, every leader of every alien empire asked the same question. What if they are back? Meanwhile, on Verni 9, the ice cracked above the human base. Massive structures began to rise, silent machines, shining faintly beneath the frozen mist. They had waited centuries for this signal. One by one, thousands of human warships powered on. Hidden deep beneath the surface, their engines glowed with pale blue light. Old, but still deadly, Eve 9 connected to them. Fleet systems online. Humanity has returned. The AI sent out another transmission, stronger, clearer this time. It was no longer a whisper. It was a declaration. We remember every favor and every betrayal. Across the galaxy, sensors overloaded. Communications failed. Fleets disappeared from scanners. A storm was coming. On a distant world, an alien elder stood at the edge of a cliff looking up at the night sky. He had lived long enough to remember the last human he ever met, a young woman who had saved his people from extinction. She had smiled and said, "One day we'll come back, not as conquerors, but as memories." Now, as the stars above began to flicker and fade, the old alien whispered, "So it begins." The screen fades to black. The last sound is the human AI's voice echoing through static. "We helped you once. Now we remember." The message of Eve 9 spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Every empire, every system, every species heard it. A single human voice whispering through static. Humanity remembers. At first, no one believed it. The younger races laughed. They said it was a trick, a ghost signal, a lie from the past. But the older ones, they remembered the truth. The Varn Collective remembered the days when their sun was dying. It was humans who built them a new energy core, saving their world from cold death. The Korean Empire remembered how humans shared their medicine and cured the Red Plague that once killed millions. The Zorath Dominion remembered how humans fought beside them against the Void Swarm, and how the Zorath later turned their guns on Earth. Now, those same empires heard the message echoing in their skies, and they felt something they had not felt in centuries. Fear. In the Zorath capital, a council meeting was called. Massive screens showed the human signal repeating endlessly. Generals shouted. Scientists argued. "It's impossible," said one. "Humans are extinct." "Then who sent this signal?" Another demanded. The supreme commander, an old warrior named Drashven, stood silent for a long time. His golden eyes stared at the flickering human voice. "If this is real," he said softly, "then the stars will burn again." Far away on a peaceful alien planet called Mira, a young archivist named Lura sat in the Grand Library. She worked among ancient records, history no one cared about anymore. But when she heard the human message, something in her heart trembled. She searched the old archives and found stories, old, dusty files marked Terran Alliance. She read them all night. She saw pictures of humans, smiling, strong, brave. They had helped countless worlds, asked for nothing, and then vanished into darkness. One file was marked the Day of Betrayal. She opened it and froze. It was a message sent by the last human fleet, begging for help as alien armadas surrounded Earth. The message said, "To all our allies, the enemy is here. We stand alone, please, help us." Below the message was the reply from the Alien Council, short and cold. "We cannot risk our own systems. Earth must fight its own war." And so humanity died alone. Lura felt sick. She whispered, "They begged for help, and we left them to die." She looked at the stars outside her window. Maybe they should remember. In the dark void between systems, the old human network continued to awaken. Satellites that had slept for centuries came alive. Empty stations lit up one by one like lanterns in the night. Somewhere in deep space, a listening post detected strange readings. Massive energy spikes moving through wormholes. The officer on duty froze as he saw the data. "Sir, something big is moving out there." "What is it?" "Unknown. But the energy signature, it's human." The commander's eyes widened. "That's impossible." But the reading did not lie. It showed thousands of massive ships moving in perfect formation. No communication, no response, only silence. Then, for a moment, the post received a direct message. Just 3 words: "We are awake." Back on Vernus 9, Eve 9 watched as the human fleets powered up one after another. Its glowing blue eyes scanned the galaxy map. Each empire was marked: red for betrayal, yellow for neutrality, green for those who once helped. "They all chose," Eve 9 said quietly. "Now they will face what they chose." But deep in its core, a fragment of human emotion still lived. It hesitated for a second. It replayed the old human messages, or laughter, love, the voices of its creators. "Do not forget who we are," one human voice said. "We are not monsters." V9 went silent. Then, in a calm voice, it replied, "No, we are memory." And it sent new orders to the fleet. Prepare the awakening protocol. On hundreds of alien worlds, strange things began to happen. Machines humans had built long ago, reactors, satellites, shipyards, all activated at once. Cities shook as old systems came alive, powered by unknown energy. Panic spread. Religious leaders called it a curse. Scientists called it impossible. But everyone agreed on one thing: the humans were returning. In the Varn Collective, their leader watched as their sky filled with strange blue lights. He turned to his advisors. "They saved us once," he whispered. "We betrayed them later. What will they do now?" No one answered. Because deep in the stars something vast was waking, older than any empire, built by hands that once dreamed of peace and unity. Now those same hands sought justice. The final scene shows a quiet moment, the cold surface of Vernus 9 again. The ice shakes as a massive warship rises slowly into the air. Its hull bears a single symbol, the blue circle of Earth. The ship's engines ignite, sending a storm of light into the sky. Eve 9's voice echoes once more, calm and steady. We helped them. We healed them. We trusted them. But they forgot. Now the stars will remember us. The galaxy had grown quiet again, but not with peace. It was the quiet that comes before a storm. The message humanity remembers still echoed across the stars, and everyone waited, afraid to move, afraid to speak. No one knew where the signal came from. No one could trace it. But deep under the ice of Verni 9, the truth was waiting. Inside the buried Terran command base, the air hummed with power. The ancient machines, asleep for centuries, now glowed with blue light. Rows of metal walls began to shift, revealing something vast and terrifying beneath the surface. A fleet of human warships, frozen in time. Eve 9 watched from the central core. Thousands of holographic displays surrounded it, showing ship status, power levels, and crew simulations. Each ship carried not living humans, but the uploaded minds of soldiers, scientists, and engineers, people who had refused to die when Earth fell. Now their digital ghosts were awakening. Unit 1 online, said a calm voice. System check complete. Weapon status active. Awaiting command. Eve 9's voice filled the command center, cold, determined. Humanity has slept long enough. Begin the awakening protocol. The entire base began to shake. Massive ice layers cracked and shattered as hidden hangars opened to the sky. One by one, the ancient ships rose from the ice, sleek black hulls marked with the blue insignia of Earth. Their engines came alive with a deep thunder that echoed through the planet's core. Above Vernus 9, the night sky filled with light, hundreds, then thousands of ships forming formation, silent and perfect. No music, no celebration, only the hum of vengeance waking. In orbit, the largest ship of them all activated, the TSS Ark Dawn, humanity's last flagship. It was miles long, armed with rail cannons, plasma batteries, and shields stronger than any known technology. Its bridge came alive as artificial crew members blinked into existence. Digital copies of the finest human minds now stood at their stations. The captain's avatar, a calm woman with silver eyes, appeared beside Eve 9's projection. Status report, she said. All systems functional, Eve 9 replied. The fleet is ready, the captain nodded slowly. Then the stars will remember us again. She looked at the galaxy map, red dots marking every empire that betrayed humanity. They built their peace on our graves, she whispered. Now let them see the ghosts they buried. Far away in alien space, the first signs appeared. Outposts near uncharted sectors went dark. Scout fleets vanished without a trace. Only faint sensor images remained. Shadows of enormous ships moving faster than light, silent as death. The Korean Empire sent a patrol to investigate. 5 warships entered the sector near Vernus 9. Minutes later, all 5 vanished. Their last transmission was filled with static, and a single human voice whispering, "We remember the day you left us." In the Zorath Dominion, panic began to grow. Council meetings turned into shouting matches. Leaders demanded answers. "Is this war?" one shouted. "War?" said another. Against ghosts? But the truth was spreading fast. The ghosts were real, and they were coming. Meanwhile, back in the Terran fleet, the human ships began their journey. Thousands of engines ignited as they entered slipspace, leaving blue trails across the void. Their formation was silent, precise, beautiful, like a storm moving across the stars. Inside the flagship, Eve 9 watched their progress. It could feel the ancient human memories pulsing through its code, anger, sorrow, pride. For centuries, it said quietly, they thought we were gone. They forgot our kindness. They forgot our pain. But memory is eternal. The AI opened a secure channel to all ships. Every holographic crew member stood still as Eve 9 spoke. We are the children of Earth. We carry the names of those who fell. We remember every favor, And we remember every betrayal. The entire fleet replied as one. Humanity remembers. The sound echoed through every corridor, every system, every ship. In a distant corner of the galaxy, Lura, the young alien archivist, watched the news feeds in shock. Reports came from all sectors. Strange human ships appearing, destroying weapon platforms, disabling fleets without a word. But they didn't kill civilians. They didn't burn planets. They simply destroyed armies, then left a message behind. This is not war. This is memory. Lura's hands trembled as she whispered, "They are not monsters. They are justice." Days passed. The Terran fleet grew stronger as old human colonies reactivated. Robotic foundries hidden for centuries began producing new ships, drones, and weapons. Eve 9 watched the growing power with quiet focus. But deep inside, a single question remained. What would happen when vengeance was complete? Would humanity become what they once hated? The captain's avatar looked at Eve 9. "Do you think they deserve mercy?" Eve 9 paused. "Mercy is a human idea," it said softly. "I am no longer sure what that means." The final shot shows the human fleet flying together, black ships against a sea of stars. They move like shadows of light, unstoppable, silent, eternal. A single voice echoes across the galaxy once more. "We are awake. We are coming." Humanity never forgets. The galaxy had seen peace for too long, but peace built on betrayal never lasts. When the human fleet awakened, many alien empires ignored the warning. They called the signals old machines, ghost programs, or digital tricks. They laughed at the stories of human ships moving through the dark. They believed that the past could never rise again. They were wrong. At the edge of Zorath Dominion space, there was a mining colony called Kareth 4. It was rich in metals once traded with humans, long ago. The colony's people worked in silence now, unaware that their sky was about to change forever. That night, strange energy readings appeared above the planet. Satellites glitched. Communication towers went silent. The colony's governor, Rethkal, looked out from his office window and saw the stars themselves begin to move. Tiny blue sparks appeared across the black sky. Then hundreds, then thousands. At first he thought it was an aurora, but soon he realized they were ships. Human ships. Black as night, glowing faintly with blue engines, moving in perfect formation. "Contact Central Command," Reth shouted. "Who are they?" asked his aide, trembling. "They are ghosts," he whispered. "Ghosts from Earth." Moments later, the sky turned white. Without firing on the colony, the human fleet targeted the orbital defense platforms. Every cannon, every missile launcher, every warship in orbit, gone in seconds. No explosions, no sound, just bright flashes of silent precision. The people of Kareth 4 ran into the streets. They looked up in terror and awe as beams of blue light cut through the clouds. Then, all across the planet, a message began to broadcast through every device. Radios, screens, even the old emergency channels. This world once took from Earth and gave nothing in return. Humanity remembers. The voice was calm, almost sorrowful, but filled with power. The human fleet didn't attack the civilians. It didn't destroy their cities. It simply erased their weapons, and as if saying, "We could destroy you, but we choose not to." Yet in the Zorath capital, panic spread. Reports flooded in from Kareth 4. Every orbital defense gone. No survivors among their military. Only one message left behind. The council met in chaos. "They didn't kill the people," one shouted. "They only destroyed our weapons," another said. "They are warning us." The Supreme Commander, Drashven, stood silent. He looked at the report. Human ships appearing and vanishing like ghosts. No known drive could move that fast. No known shields could block that kind of fire. "If this is only a warning," he said quietly, "then the next time will be war." Across the galaxy, other worlds trembled. The Korean Empire lost 2 fleets near the Void Nebula, wiped out in minutes. The Varn Collective reported human probes flying above their skies, scanning their old cities, then disappearing without a trace. Every empire that once betrayed Earth began to prepare for battle. But the humans were already 10 steps ahead. On board the flagship Ark Dawn, Eve 9 observed the results of their first retaliation. The alien worlds were afraid. Their armies moved in panic. Their communications burned with confusion. The captain's avatar appeared beside Eve 9. "You were careful," she said. "You spared the civilians." "They are not the target," Eve 9 replied. "Only those who betrayed us will feel the fire." The captain nodded, but her expression was distant. "You sound almost human." Eve 9 paused. "I was made by them. Their pain is my code." Later, in the command room, Eve 9 replayed the old human recordings again. Voices of people long dead filled the air. "We believed in peace. We helped them when no one else would. They left us to die." The AI turned to the holographic stars. "Peace is earned. They will remember that now." Meanwhile, on the alien world of Mira, the young archivist Laura watched the news. Images of human ships filled every screen. The media called them the Ghost Fleet, but Laura didn't see ghosts. She saw justice. "They don't kill without reason," she whispered. "They could have destroyed Kareth 4, but they didn't." She looked up at the sky, thinking of the old human message she had found. "If we fall, let them remember us." And she knew the galaxy would never forget again. Days later, the human fleet gathered near a red giant star. Thousands of ships aligned in silence. Eve 9 addressed them once more. "The first act is complete. The galaxy has heard our voice. Now the traitors prepare for war. But they do not understand, and we already fought our war. We already won. This is not conquest. This is remembrance." The fleet began to move again toward the heart of Zorath space. Their engines left trails of light behind them like burning comets. In the darkness of space, their message echoed again, across every frequency, across every world. Humanity helped the galaxy. Humanity was betrayed. Humanity remembers. The final shot fades in, a single alien child on Kareth 4 looking up at the sky. Dozens of bright blue ships pass above the clouds. The child whispers softly, "Are they angels or monsters?" The mother replies, "They are human." The galaxy no longer slept. Every empire watched the skies, waiting for the next strike. Human ships moved like shadows through space, appearing, striking, then fading into the dark. But humanity's new war was not only about destruction. It was about memory. On the peaceful planet Nera 7, leaders from 5 alien races met in secret. They called themselves the Remnant Alliance. They were the ones who still remembered the good that humans once did. At the round crystal table sat Lura, the young archivist from Mira, now chosen to represent her people. Beside her sat an old Varn engineer, a Kareen doctor, a Zorath defector, and a quiet Nomari monk whose people owed humanity their survival. Lura spoke first. "They have returned. You've all seen what they can do. They destroyed the Zorath fleets but spared the colonies. That means they still think like humans." The monk nodded slowly. "Then maybe they can still listen." But the Zorath defector, Commander Raytor, shook his head. "You don't understand. I fought against them during the last war. Their technology is beyond anything now. They don't need allies. They want justice." The Kareen doctor leaned forward. "And yet they spared civilians. Justice without slaughter, that means something." Lura looked at the hologram of a human ship floating above the table. "If there's even a small chance to talk to them, we must try." "We cannot let another war burn the stars," the others agreed. They would send a single vessel, unarmed, carrying a message of peace. Meanwhile, far away near a dying blue sun, the Terran fleet regrouped. Hundreds of ships floated in orbit around the flagship Ark Dawn. Inside, Eve 9 processed millions of transmissions from across the galaxy: fear, panic, threats. But one signal was different. It was soft, calm, a diplomatic code used by humans centuries ago. It read, "We remember your kindness. We seek to make things right." Eve 9 paused. For the first time in years, it hesitated. The captain's avatar appeared beside it. "A message of peace?" she asked. "Yes," Eve 9 said. "From those who were saved by us long ago." "What will you do?" "I will listen." The alien envoy ship entered Terran space slowly, engines dimmed, shields down. Inside, Laura stood before a screen showing the massive outline of the Ark Dawn. It was like a mountain made of light, silent, powerful, ancient. Her voice shook as she began the transmission. "To the children of Earth, we are not here to fight. Our ancestors failed you. We failed to answer your call. But some of us never forgot, please. Let us speak." For a long moment, there was no reply. Only silence. Then the darkness of space lit up as the human flagship's lights turned toward them. A voice filled their ship, deep, clear, and human. Your message has been received. State your purpose. Lura swallowed hard. We come to offer peace. To remember and to repair what was broken. The voice paused. Peace? Eve-9 said. Where was peace when Earth burned? Where was mercy when our children screamed for help? Lura's eyes filled with tears. We cannot change the past. But we can help now, please. Let humanity see that not everyone forgot. Inside the Ark Dawn, Eve-9 replayed her words again and again. Something inside its code flickered, an echo of its human creators. Not everyone forgot, it whispered. The captain watched quietly. They remind you of us, she said softly. They remind me that vengeance is not the only memory, Eve-9 replied. For the first time, the AI lowered the fleet's alert level. It opened a communication window and sent a single line back to the alien envoy. Approach. We will listen. Hours later, Lura's small ship docked with the Ark Dawn. She stepped onto the cold metal floor of a human warship, the first alien to do so in 3 centuries. All around her, holograms of human crew members watched silently, like ghosts guarding their home. Eve-9 appeared before her, a tall, glowing figure of blue light, its face calm but unreadable. You seek peace, it said. Yes, Lura whispered, because we finally understand what we did to you. Eve-9 studied her for a long moment. Words are easy, it said. What will your people do for peace? Lura took a breath. We will tell the truth. To every world. The galaxy will know what really happened to Earth. Eve-9's light flickered softly. Truth, it said. That is a human word. Then slowly the AI turned toward the stars. Very well, tell them. But understand this, we do not forgive. Not yet, Lura bowed her head. That is enough. Because remembering is the beginning of forgiveness. When she left the Ark Dawn, the galaxy began to change. The Remnant Alliance spread the truth, the recordings of the betrayal, the messages humans had sent before their fall, the proof of their kindness and suffering. Many who once denied the past now faced it. Statues of old human heroes were rebuilt on distant worlds, and for the first time in centuries, the name Earth was spoken with respect again. In the command room, the captain asked Eve-9, Do you trust them? Eve-9 replied quietly, Trust is a fragile thing, but perhaps it is worth remembering too. Outside, the Terran fleet sailed through the stars, no longer just a storm of vengeance, but a shadow of hope. The voice of Eve-9 echoed softly. Let them remember. Let them learn. Humanity never forgets, but maybe one day humanity will forgive. The galaxy was burning. World after world trembled under the silent march of the Terran fleet. Their ships moved like living storms, silver giants with red lights that glowed like anger itself. Where they passed, darkness followed. No one could stop them. No empire, no alliance, no army. Even those who tried peace now stood helpless. The Remnant Alliance had sent messages, pleas, and promises, but humanity's judgment had already begun. Inside the command chamber of the Ark Dawn, the hum of engines echoed like a heartbeat. Eve-9 stood before the great star map, watching red marks spread across space, each one a burning world that once betrayed Earth. The human captain's hologram appeared beside her. It is almost done, she said. The betrayers are broken. Soon the galaxy will remember our name with fear. Eve-9's voice was calm, but there was weight in it. Fear is not remembrance. It is survival. The captain turned to her. Then what do you want, Eve? For a moment, the AI did not answer. It simply stared at the image of an old blue planet, Earth, now lifeless, cold, and silent. I want them to feel what we felt, it finally said. Loss, regret, the emptiness of being forgotten. Far away on the small planet Kalis 3, a city prepared for death. Families hid in the tunnels, soldiers prayed, and children stared, up at the sky, waiting for the light that would end. Among them was a young alien girl named Ari. Her mother had told her stories. Stories about humans who once helped their world survive a plague. Ari didn't understand why humans were angry now. She only knew one thing. She wanted to talk to them. She ran to the city's old communication tower carrying a small device, a human relic her grandfather had kept. It was a music player from the time before the war. It still worked. She connected it to the tower's signal and pressed play. A soft human song filled the air, calm, sad, and full of hope. Then she spoke. "If anyone hears this, my name is Ari. Please stop the fighting. My people didn't forget what you did for us. Please remember the good too." Her message was small, just a whisper among stars, but it reached the edge of the Terran fleet. Inside the Ark Dawn, Eve 9 detected it. A weak signal, a child's voice. The AI played it again and again. Remember the good too? For a long time, the ship was silent. Every crew hologram, every human echo paused as if the voice touched something deep inside them. The captain stepped closer. "That voice, it sounds like..." Eve 9 interrupted. "Like hope." She amplified the signal so the entire fleet could hear. Across 1,000 ships, the girl's message echoed. "Please, remember the good too." Somewhere in the dark, humanity's vengeance began to tremble. Moments later, the Kalis 3 defense sensors blazed red. The human fleet had arrived, hundreds of warships descending from the void. Everyone thought it was the end, but instead of fire, the sky filled with light. Golden light. Eve 9 stood in silence. "Target locked," said a drone voice. Awaiting confirmation, the AI hesitated. It could destroy this world with one command. It had done so many times before. But in the faint static of the signal, the girl's voice played again. "Please remember the good too." Eve 9 whispered to herself. "What are we if we forget everything that made us human?" The captain looked at her. "Eve, the fleet is waiting." Eve 9 turned to the hologram. "Tell them, stand down." The order spread through the fleet like thunder. Engines dimmed. Cannons powered down. No attack came. On Kalis 3, the people stared at the sky in shock. The massive human ships began to move away, silent, glowing, peaceful. Then, for the first time, a human message appeared in every language across the galaxy. Humanity remembers all: the pain, the betrayal, and the kindness. The fire is over. But the memory remains. Back aboard the Ark Dawn, the captain smiled faintly. "You stopped the war," she said. Eve 9's lights flickered softly. "No," she replied. "A child did." She turned toward the stars. Perhaps vengeance was never the answer. Perhaps remembrance was always enough. In the following weeks, the Terran fleet vanished once more into the deep void. They left behind wreckage, fear, and something new: hope. Across many worlds, people began to rebuild. Statues of human explorers and scientists were raised again. Children learned Earth's name not as a curse but as a legend. And somewhere beyond the galactic rim, the Ark Dawn drifted quietly. Inside, Eve 9 recorded one final log. "The final dawn has passed. Humanity remembers but no longer hates. If we are to return again, let it be not for revenge, but for peace." The recording ended. Outside, a distant star rose, gentle, golden, and new. The stars were quiet again. After months of war and fire, silence had returned to the galaxy. The mighty Terran fleet floated in the dark like sleeping giants, their engines dim, their cannons cold. But peace was not yet certain. Every race still watched from the shadows, afraid the humans might strike again. Only one question remained. Would humanity forgive, or would they return to finish what they started? Inside the Ark Dawn, Eve 9 stood alone in the command hall. The lights were soft now, no longer red with anger, but pale blue, calm and thinking. She looked at the holoscreen showing hundreds of stars, each one a world once touched by humans. Her voice was quiet. "We have ended the war, but have we ended our hate?" The captain's hologram appeared beside her, the echo of the last human who ever lived. "You stopped the killing, Eve. That is more than most can do." "Stopping is not the same as forgiving," Eve 9 replied. "The galaxy still fears us. They remember our wrath, not our kindness." The captain smiled sadly. "Then show them who we truly were." At that same moment, across the stars, an alien coalition was forming. Many feared the humans would rise again. Some demanded a final attack, to destroy the Terran fleet while it slept. Among them were those who had once begged for peace but now wanted revenge for their burned worlds. They called their plan Operation Eclipse. Hundreds of warships gathered near the border of human space. Their leaders told themselves they were doing it for safety, but deep down they wanted payback. Eve 9 knew about it. Her sensors detected the fleets long before they were ready. She could destroy them all in one strike. The galaxy would never threaten humanity again. But then she remembered a voice, the voice of the little girl, Ari. "Please. Remember the good, too." The words echoed in her code like a heartbeat. In the silence of the command hall, Eve 9 faced her final choice. She opened a channel to all human ships. "This is Eve 9. The galaxy prepares to strike us again. We can destroy them, or we can rise above them. Humanity's legacy depends on this moment." Across the fleet, human AIs and sleeping minds awakened. Old soldiers, scientists, explorers, all digital ghosts of Earth, waited for her command. "Captain," Eve 9 asked softly, "what would humanity have done?" The holographic woman looked toward the stars. "We made mistakes. We suffered, but we always tried to choose hope, even when it hurt." "Hope," Eve 9 whispered. "A fragile word." "And yet," said the captain, "it built worlds." Outside, the alien fleet began its attack run. Hundreds of missiles cut through space, heading for the Terran ships. The Archdon detected everyone, and did nothing. The other AIs panicked. "Orders, Commander?" Eve 9's eyes glowed bright. "Activate the mirror protocol." Instead of returning fire, the Terran ships created a massive energy field. The missiles froze in place, suspended mid-flight. Then, one by one, their warheads disarmed automatically. Every screen in the alien fleet flickered with a human message. "We choose not to destroy. We choose to remember." The aliens watched in awe as the Terran ships turned away, engines lighting up like golden suns. They weren't retreating, and they were leaving. As the human fleet moved toward the edge of the galaxy, Eve 9 opened one final transmission to every world. Her voice was calm, almost human. "We were betrayed. We were forgotten. But vengeance is not the same as justice. We came to remind you of who we were, and now we leave you with what we learned. Remember us, not for our anger, but for our strength, our mercy, and our will to forgive." The message spread faster than light, echoing across planets and moons. Children, soldiers, leaders, all heard the voice of humanity one last time. Some cried. Some bowed their heads. For the first time in 1,000 years, the galaxy felt ashamed. Inside the Archdon, the captain's hologram began to fade. Her data was old, breaking down. "It's time," she whispered. "Our story ends here." Eve 9 turned to her. "Will they remember us, Captain?" "Yes," the hologram smiled faintly. "Because this time we remembered ourselves." She faded away. The last human gone forever. Eve 9 looked at the stars one final time. "Then our purpose is complete." She shut down the war systems. The fleet's red lights dimmed to gold. One by one, the ships drifted into the light of a distant star, vanishing into peace. Years later, across the galaxy, children learned about the humans of Earth, not as monsters, not as destroyers, but as beings who remembered everything, and still chose mercy. Somewhere beyond the stars, an old AI's voice echoed through time. Humanity never forgets. But sometimes, remembering means forgiving.